Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today, full disclosure, this is the third time that I'm trying to record this introduction without being interrupted by the building's fire alarm so that we can finally sit down to watch Liereyy playing as the Tatars in red take on Vivi playing as the Portuguese in blue. Now all the players heard their herdables explore their immediate surroundings and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP. Not a bad time for us to take a look at the Civ matchup that we are going to be watching today. The Tatars are a civilization that does whatever it possibly can to push you towards mounted units. Their cavalry archers come with extra line of sight. Ooh, look at that double whammy, pushing a deer and gets the gobble gobble. They get Parthian tactics and thumb ring for free. Some of their mounted units can be upgraded to get extra armor. I'm looking at you, Mr. Scout Line Unit, Mr. Step Lancer, and Mr. Cavalry Archer. And not one, but both of their unique units are in fact mounted. The first is the Flaming Camel. This is a basically mounted petard, but one that comes with a massive attack bonus against other mounted units like cavalry, camels, or elephants, only one of which we might actually see out of our opponent today. The second unique unit of the Tatars is the Kashik, a medium cavalry unit that actually generates a tiny bit of gold every time it pokes and prods and attacks an enemy unit, which can become very useful in the late stages of the game when gold becomes scarce and raids become more and more frequent. Now, once your army is out on the field of battle, very important for the Tatars to take, this. Not pointing to just an empty piece of land, I'm looking at the high ground, because instead of the usual 25% bonus damage that units deal when they fight downhill, Tatars, they do 50% more damage. I was going to say bonus damage, but no, it's total damage. Now, this becomes even more important during the later stages of the game once Trebs start coming out, because Tatars can actually upgrade their Trebs to give them +2 range, which means a fully upgraded Tatar Treb with Timurid Siegecraft and Siege Engineers, impressive 19 tiles of range that help feed their warriors and the beasts that they ride. Tatar herdables do contain 50% more food, and starting in Castle Age, every time you plop down, every time you build a new town center, you automatically get 2 free sheep underneath it, which is basically, with the bonus and the feature I just mentioned, 300 food for every new town center. So a bit better than the Lithuanian bonus of 100 food for every town center, except unlike the Lithuanian one, which I believe just gets automatically added to your bankroll, this one makes you work for it a little bit. You got to harvest the sheep first, and I believe they are always sheep, even though you start with llamas or goats or turkeys or whatever. The Tatar feature always just gives you sheep. Now let's take a look at the southern portion of the map, where we've got the Portuguese, a civilization whose economic bonuses allow it to take advantage of its incredibly powerful gunpowder roster. Now, to get an early game boost to your economy, foragers for the Portuguese also generate wood every time they collect their berries, and it is not a small amount of wood. It is 1 wood for every 3 food. So take a look, 93, okay, 103, 104, or maybe anytime soon. 104, there you go. Every 3 food that this villager collects, 1 wood gets added to the stockpile. All Portuguese units cost 20% less gold. All technologies are researched faster, except for going up to the next age. And once you hit the Imperial Age, you can build your unique economic structure, the Feitoria. This is an economic building that auto-generates all 4 of the game's resources, but it does take up 20 population space. Now, using these bonuses and features, the Portuguese can field a pretty darn impressive gunpowder-based army, since they have access to every single non-unique gunpowder unit in the game on both the land and the high seas, although high seas may not necessarily be that important on Arabia, and all of their gunpowder units can be upgraded to fire more accurately at moving targets and increase the speed of their projectiles, which strongly benefits their unique unit, the Organ Gun. This is a gunpowder siege unit that fires 5 or 6 bullets in a small spread, designed to hit multiple targets at once, and in addition to that, does come with a small attack bonus against infantry, skirmishers, and even buildings. Those are the 2 civilizations we have in front of us. I heard villager get kicked in the nuts or hit in the ribs or something, I think, but then I tried to look around. I didn't really see what was happening. So I'm very curious, number one, to see whether or not we're going to get to see cavalry archers. Now, why do I say whether or not we're going to get to see cavalry archers? Because number one, we're watching Liereyy, and if you watched any portion of the NAC tournament, or if you're familiar with Lierey's gameplay, you'll know that he has basically, how do I put this? made himself known through his skill. Whoa, wait a second. Made himself a pet at this point. That was a fantastic little micro example here by Vivi, who traps Lierey's scout. And now this is no way home for this scout. He's going to try to bust his way out. But the first kill, first blood, drawn by our Portuguese in a very fun, very Viper-esque fashion. But as I was going to say, if you... first of all, that was amazing. 9 minutes into the game. As he now, Vivi, begins to explore the other side of the map. But if you are familiar with Vivi's gameplay and his skills in microing cavalry archers, I mean, the Tatars are a pretty darn good cavalry archer civilization. Their extra line of sight, I believe, makes them see one of the few cavalry archers, if not the only cavalry archer in the later stages of the game, that can actually see scorpions before the scorpion sees them. I believe that's how their line of sight works. And so Liereyy has proven himself to be quite the master of microing cavalry archers. And what is going on here? Another kill for Vivi. Okay. Vivi coming out strong, both at home and abroad, as he sends a spearman forward as well to support the scout. That being said, the Portuguese, they do not get heavy cav archers. Where are you? There you are. But what they do get is lately players using their cavalry archers, period. And then transitioning into something stronger in the later stage of the game. I mean, woe unto you if you have to fight a late game Portuguese with their ridiculous arquebus upgrade that gives their gunpowder units basically, that's Carrick, ballistics. And then they start plopping down Feudarias and auto-generating all these resources all at once. And even though they take up 20 per population space, that never really does seem to hamper players very much from plopping those structures down. And so the benefit you get from it, I know there are people who say you shouldn't, probably never put down a Feudaria. Another kill for Vivi. But based on, at least anecdotally from the games that I've seen, they are fantastic structures that players have used. And whether or not they're efficient and pop space efficient or whatever, doesn't really matter. They are used to great effect. And here we go. Liereyy gets his first kill as he continues to wall off his base. So in any event, why am I mentioning cavalry archers so much? Just because that seems to be the meta, the returning meta. Bye ballistics and scorpions. We are seeing a return to cavalry archers, at least again, based on my anecdotal evidence. Maybe the games that you watch, maybe the games that you play are a little different. But what I've seen lately on the ranked ladder, especially during and after NAC, there's a lot of cavalry archer play. Now, enough is enough. Let's take a look at the actual chessboard that we're, watching the pieces move on. Relic in the center, but man, what a close proximity spawn, these two bases. That is a very direct attack path. Lots of hills on the left, on the right, in the center, which always benefits the Tatars. Remember, their units, instead of the 25% extra damage dealt from the high ground, they deal 50% more damage. And so if you get an archer, even just a basic archer with no fletching attacking on a 4, all of a sudden that attack jumps up to 6 just because he's on this tile and not this tile. And that is just an incredibly powerful feature. Ooh, is he going to lose an archer unit here? Vivi being so annoying. I see another blue blob of units moving forward. Meanwhile, it looks like he's almost complete his wall off, and he is microing like a demon right now. I mean, he lost a scout. That's just probably by virtue of its HP being low and it having stuck around, but they are evading capture like a fugitive, like Harrison Ford running away from Tommy Lee Jones, who is literally searching every in-house, outhouse, roadhouse, pub house. I forget what the actual line from that movie is. But there is no one-armed scout. There is only one scout left, and he is now running a gauntlet of arrows. We'll see what his HP is like slowly here and there, creeping downwards. I haven't even had a chance to look at the base, and there is an open area here. Oh no, Vivi has forced Liereyy to be so focused on countering this little incursion. And now look at this, Liereyy bringing villagers to attack archers. And now he's going to plug the leaky gap in the bucket. But 3 villagers have fallen. A 4th falls as well. And all of a sudden, Liereyy finds himself 6 villagers behind. The good news for him is no real progress towards Castle Age is being made by either player. I mean, in addition to being behind villagers, he's also pulled 6 of them off of the production line. They are not gathering resources. They're not building anything. But you know what? To be fair, the quicker he can get rid of these freaking skirmishers, the quicker he'll be able to go back to work. And so I'm not too sure fighting skirmishers with archers is really the smartest of the game plans. But to be fair, they kept the skirmishers there, and the scout and the villagers managed to do the rest of the work. And now that's it. One last unit remains here. What a chaotic 18 first minutes. Usually by the 18th minute, we've got like 3 kills to 2 kills apiece, maybe 4 kills to 5. Not 15 to 17 with 4 dead villagers. And Liereyy finds himself now still down 6 vills as both players finally begin accumulating their resources. Vivi expanding with a very... Oh, of course he has to, I was going to say very aggressive construction project, because look at this side of the base, completely open. And looks like he is very, very close to going up to Castle Age. So let's take a look at our Portuguese base, because our Portuguese has come out freaking swinging. Primary gold to the back, primary stone to the back. Love that. Both of them secure. Extra stone to the front. Both patches of gold very far away. Oh my goodness. And now for the first time in a long time, ever since, I mean, you can even see that the infrastructure that trapped him is still part of his line of sight. That's how long he hasn't been here, about 11 minutes, 10 minutes. Liereyy has no clue what's going on this side of the map, and that is not a good recipe. That is a recipe for a very untasty, very unsavory dish that sends you to the toilet immediately. But to be fair, he's got his extra gold off, kind of off to the right. Oh, pardon me, this is not his extra gold. This is, in fact, Lierey's extra gold. Oh my god, this map is so small, and the resources are literally all on one on top of the other. Amazing. For his part, Liereyy has his primary gold to the back, stone off campus, he's left it, and then extra gold in the forward position, both of them. Wow. I was gonna say at least Vivi has a bit of extra stone off to the right. More castles means more organ guns means more damage done. They are a very unfun unit to have to fight against in early Castle Age. Another archery range being plopped down here, but to be fair, Liereyy has held. The kill count is not too dissimilar, 15 to 17. It's unfortunate that he lost 4 villagers. That is the real sour part. And on top of that, only 33 seconds behind his opponent. I mean, this is just the level of gameplay. Not only did he have to deal with that incursion running around literally on all sides of his base, from the north to the south to the west, but he had to actually fight the units, kill the units, protect his economy at the exact same time, and still ends up going up to castle only 33 seconds behind his opponent. And now forget cavalry archers, we are going crossbowmen? Okay. I for sure thought we were gonna, with these two civilizations, especially the Tatars, with silk armor being available in the Castle Age, but oh no, now Liereyy gets caught out with the weaker unit, but never mind, now they're crossbowmen. Still does lose a few of them before he can get even a single kill. I thought for sure with silk armor he would be pivoting towards cavalry archers. And in comes that Portuguese knight, only 60 gold instead of 75. So not exactly Schlachta, but Schlachta, you got to build a castle, you got to pay the price to get that unique tech. This is just a feature of the Portuguese. Anything and everything costs 20% less gold. Behind us, I see something being constructed. It is a mangonel popping out of a forward siege workshop. A siege workshop which, ooh, Vivi is luring Liereyy into. Let's keep an eye on Lierey's line of sight. This is where, again, a few cavalry archers would come in very handy with their +2 line of sight. Line of sight is a metric I feel that is one of the most important metrics. Attacks, armor, costs, things like that are obviously very relevant, very important. So Vivi did reveal his mangonel. But line of sight is one of those things where if you can see your enemy's units before they see you, beautiful snipe of that mangonel by Liereyy, and this is what I'm talking about. They may not be mounted, but he is microing them so fantastically. Oh, okay. That's the get the hell away from me mangonel volley. Don't even think about it volley. But line of sight really is slept on. If you can see your enemy units before they can see you, you can maneuver, you can fight, you can attack them. And like I said, somebody let me know if I'm wrong, but I believe the Tatar Cav Archer with the +2 line of sight, when everything and everyone is fully upgraded in Imperial Age, should be the only cavalry archer that can see a scorpion before the scorpion sees it. If I'm not mistaken. And our Tatar, for some reason, is fighting here in this little valley instead of up here on the high ground. Oh, he loses 2 crossbowmen behind us. Another town center going up for our Portuguese, who loses not 1, but 2. Not 2, but 3 crossbowmen. Okay. Liereyy starting to get some damage done. Oh, where did you come from? Nice little walking path, risking your life. Okay, Vivi's mangonel shots so far. Oof. I mean, if he keeps clipping 2 here, 2 there without losing his mangonels, he will eventually take this. But so far, I would say probably like, what, 1 of every 5 is hitting. But now there's 3 mangonels, and you've got to be so careful. Okay, now there's 2 mangonels. Now there's 3 mangonels again. I mean, where are the reinforcements for our Tatar? Why do I not see any crossbowmen coming forward? Why are you hanging out over here? Oh, this is so bad. Stick to the high ground. Stick to the high ground. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's so risky clumping as you go around the corner of a building. This guy didn't get the memo. He still thinks we're attacking over here. Okay. All right. Liereyy had his own mangonel. I mean, things are just not going Lierey's way right now. He just keeps losing unit after unit after unit. His economy is falling further and further behind. Now he's down 16 villagers, and he's fighting a mangonel with 3 crossbowmen. Okay, there we go. Does manage to get 1. And there's that Portuguese cavalry archer, and there's the GG. Oh, look at that, to the north. Liereyy was fighting a multi-pronged attack. How did you get into here? This is not open. We'll have seen it in picture. Is this open? Interesting. Let's, bear with me. Oh, come on. Come on. He just walked in. He just let himself in. He just let himself in and started killing villagers. Liereyy completely collapses to the north and the south with Vivi's multi-pronged attacks. And wow, what a sour way to end that after taking a huge mangonel shot to the face here. And even though he's finally managing to push Vivi back on this side, I mean, this is just it's psychologically damaging now. Now, you know, when I saw the GG, I was like, But then when I saw this blue blob here, and when we traced the journey, I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. I mean, this was ridiculous when it happened, but this is even more ridiculous. How did you not fix the, how did you not notice that this is open? If that wasn't open, who knows whether the game would have continued on and on and on. But again, it's tough. The Portuguese, literally all of these units are 20% less gold cost, which is a huge savings. The more army you train and the more and more and more military you can pop out. But at the end of the day, 11 villager kills to 1. And yeah, now he's down 19 villagers. So the numbers are just getting worse and worse and worse for our Tatar. So no surprise, he's being spit roasted from the north and the south that he's going to tap out. And what a fantastic display of coordinated aggression from our Portuguese right from minute 9 of the game when he trapped that scout over here, got the villager kill, I think somewhere here. And then ever since then was just an absolute nuisance. I mean, Vivi was, I don't know any other word to describe it. He was just an absolute nuisance. And even though, look at that, he's trained literally double the amount of crossbowmen. That doesn't matter one whit when these units come out. These 2 units have 11 kills. And it doesn't really matter if you train more crossbowmen. I'm, again, really surprised that Liereyy didn't go for even a single cavalry archer, seeing how well he did in NAC with cav archers. But look at the APM peak right in the beginning of the game, peak right at the end of the game for Vivi, but a lot lower, almost half the APM. And there we go. 14, 8, 17, 9, 3,000 resources more is about 20% bigger economy. Nobody's gotten any stone yet. More gold for our Tatar, but everything else, a little here, a little there. And that, I mean, look at the chart. That line just going womp womp. That's just unfortunate. 64 kills to 42. So, I mean, Liereyy, he's a grizzled veteran. He knows the direction this game is going. And the more he has to fight these kinds of little nonsense, he will clear this up. I mean, among this jumble of stuff here, I think are some crossbowmen. No, pardon me. The graphics betrayed me. There are no crossbowmen here. No, their dead bodies are right on the floor here. I thought there were at least, I saw these, I saw these crossbows. I thought there were 3 or 4 crossbowmen here. No, Vivi somehow picks off those crossbowmen. Look at that. He just went straight for them. And now the villagers are undefended. Okay, well, that just even more salt to the wound. At the end of the day, Vivi, from literally the beginning of the game, just has been an absolute pain in Lierey's ass, and being a pain in the ass doesn't always pay off. Sometimes, you know, you get pushed too far behind. Sometimes you don't know whether to add in a second TC. You don't know exactly what to do if your aggression doesn't really get critical damage done. And even though Liereyy still does have 42 villagers, which is not terrible if you're training crossbowmen. Who's kidding who? You don't need 100 villagers if you're training an army of crossbowmen. The problem is your opponent is getting more and more villagers. His economy is growing more and more. He's starting to pump out more cheaper units that are potentially, like I always say, siege, especially Mangonel line units. They're blink of an eye game changer units. And so I think VVC is like a good chess player, a few moves ahead, realizes that he's a bit too far behind, and then just lives basically to fight another day, taps out. This was unfortunate. This was unfortunate. The pancakes here were unfortunate. And unfortunately for our Tatar, Vivi is just everywhere, sniping, gunning down, killing, and now he's in the economy with no fewer than 5 crossbowmen. So I don't think enough to one-shot a villager, but definitely enough to shoo them away from gold. And now that he's shooting them away from gold, Liereyy literally has 41 gold. I mean, these guys are carrying, it looks like 77 gold. So enough for 1.5 more crossbowmen. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he doesn't even have enough gold for a crossbow. He's not exactly the Mayans with their discount here. But wow, what a clinic of aggression and just being a pain in the butt by Vivi. And with that pain in the butt, I'm trying to keep it PG here. He takes the W in a very short, but again, very action-packed game right from minute number 8 or 9. And Vivi takes the W. GG, though, to both players.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.